and welcome to the Glacially Live. Welcome to the live Glacially Musical Podcast. It is Amtrak. This is the fastest Amtrak ever. Of course, I'm Nick Cameron, the founder of Glacially Musical, joined by my good friend, a man who thinks he's not as beautiful as he is, Keefe Kalopsia. Joined by the Raging Cajun himself, a man that's a Majin and can cast a spell, Don Decky Do Master of Illusions. How are we doing today, guys?
I'm feeling beautiful as always, even more exceptionally. I feel like I'm glowing because of the live presentation. So,
just for the record, I got a haircut. I don't know if anybody's noticed that you can see my bald spot better. So I'm going to just look up so that way my chin does not double.
Nah, man. Looks good, dude. Looks good. I powdered my nose before the podcast.
Does that mean you went to the bathroom? I mean, that's what that usually means. Anyway, here's how we do this. Thank you for joining us each week. We have a greeting, beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the day. The meat of the day this week is the seminal Beastie Boys, License to Ill. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us live. Like and subscribe, people. The Glacially Musical beer of the week is Four Hands Brewing Backyard IPA. Never had one? Let's get a pop. Finger fudge pour. All right, buddies, what you got? What you got, Don?
I have the tried but true. I really feel like this is gonna be my calling card here, like my signature. So a nice, beautiful Yingling traditional lager with the twist off that I can't twist off, but there we go. And then I'm gonna do the finger fudge pour here. And Nick has taught me the finger fudge pour. And I will have to say, as corny as it sounds, a beer tastes so much better when poured properly.
You don't have burpee belly.
So that's where I fucked up with the Hopsecutioner 2 weeks ago. So now I feel like I've got to break the stigma and try it again. But I'll try it on live next time. I'll try it on the podcast, next time. So
what you got this week, Keefe?
Guess what I've got? I've got a Liquid Death. I'm going to have to literally man the phone here and just drag the main speaker each way. But sorry for the late start. Just to, one of the common things, we've never done this live. Nick used to do live versions of this podcast. I obviously go live a few times a week. Don, I don't know if you do live everywhere on the web, but this is our first time doing this for Glacially Musical. Glacially Musical is sort of part of Ghost Cult now because that's what we do with Galactus. We eat worlds.
I've been conquered.
Right this second, we're streaming on Facebook for Ghost Cult, Glacially Musical, if you're there, sub, on YouTube, Ghost Cult's YouTube, and Ghost Cult's Instagram, all at the same time, which is kind of cool. I felt like Twitch was a little extraneous for this one. I'm drinking a now discontinued but still good Convicted Melon, which is basically watermelon and lime, and grapefruit flavors. Liquid Death. Cheers, fellas. YouTube happy hour.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Damn, even a Yingling tastes better with a proper finger fudge pour. Oh, Nick. Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. What I said was, I don't like this. I've never had this beer.
So you're drinking it anyway?
I paid $10.
For the single beer?
No, for 4. So I have 3 more to drink.
So you're just gonna push through it.
Just gonna man up and refuse to admit defeat. May I check my records?
Vinyl check time.
Yes, you may.
Vinyl check 1.
Oh shit.
Okay, we don't cuss on this show. Did I say beer, metal, and swearing? Okay.
Yes, you did.
Record 1, Hughes Thrall. Anybody know where this record's from? It's got the fancy pants. Yeah, I hate these things, actually. And this is a Japanese record. This is not the greatest record in the world. Duncan and I did an episode of the Department of Metal Antiquities on it. It's all right. It's not bad. Got this from a new seller on Discogs who is now my favorite seller because he does Japanese. He's from Japan, so he sells Japanese records primarily. And he charges only $12 for the first record and $9 additional. So if you buy 3, it only costs like $6 a record to ship them. So I try to buy 2 or 3. I buy 1 cheap one and 1 more expensive one. Now, here's a record I think somebody might soil their pants in a good way when they see this. Let me know if either of you soil your pants.
Oh!
This is, of course, Judas Priest, Painkiller. This is a repress. This is not modern pressing. Sorry, I'm having a hard time because my camera's in a different spot than it usually is. Very good record. Cool cover art. This is, I think, a 2020 pressing. Got it at Joe's Records STL for about $20. So,
wow.
Quite happy with this one. Quite happy indeed. What you got, Don?
All right, let's see. I got a couple of things. So, I made a nice little trek out to Kilgore Trouts last week. Picked up some cool things, and I picked up Stephen Stills Live, which I sadly did not even know existed, which I thought was a bootleg when I first saw it.
The only Stephen Stills Live I have is Super Session with Mike Bloomfield and Al Cooper.
Yes.
I have the live version and the studio version.
So this one is it's got an electric side and it's got an acoustic side. And the acoustic side, he does these incredible renditions of Change Partners, Crossroads, You Can't Catch Me, and Everybody's Talking It, which is incredible. Great listen. Probably, I don't know, like this was probably one of my favorite finds. And then finally, a friend of mine gave this to me, which you can't play it, but if you look at this, this is actually a vinyl record that was turned into a Steal Your Face. And I don't know if I can get the angle right, but it's a Cheech and Chong album.
Wait a minute, that stupid skull has a name?
Yeah, it's the Steal Your Face. They call it a Steely because it was the cover of a live album called Steal Your Face. And so they adopted this as the logo. It became a Steely. So
I'm making a face.
I can tell it. But yeah, and anyway, it's a Cheech and Chong record that a guy turned into, matted it, made it into a cool little piece of art. So beautiful. Love it. But that's all I got for this week. So
Kiwi.
Alrighty. While I'm talking and doing my vinyl check, Nick, please check your connections because you seem like you're calling from the next room with a Dixie cup and a string. Just check yourself. You don't have to talk. Just check your connections and everything. And then when you come back and talk, if you want to fiddle with it, I will allow it. 2 vinyl checks today from the 2024 pile. Almost to 2025. I've already checked a few 2025 things. The Slipknot debut album, 25th anniversary reissue. I think I got this bad boy at Thrill House Records, which I will be taking Don to when he comes to visit soon.
mm-hmm.
The classic Slipknot front cover. I did not like Slipknot or System of a Down when they first came out.
Did you say Millhouse Records?
Thrill House Records. You would be glad to go there, Nicholas. Inside sleeve, as well as lyrics on the back, which is good because Corey Taylor is a verbose mofo. And the anniversary, there was anniversary red, anniversary yellow, and anniversary black. I have the anniversary yellow. And then previous podcast subject and vinyl check, sort of. We discussed this in our chaser on the greatest soundtracks ever. I think we could redo any of these older podcast chasers with Don as a new element and redo them if we want to revisit our choices. I know I do. But I have here Judgment Night. Nick has this also.
We need to do an episode on that record.
I thought we should kind of do its own episode on this record. Right there alongside of The Crow and Singles for me as one of the greatest movie soundtracks of all time. Not orchestral scores, but a band-centric soundtrack. So, of course, The classic cover and the back, already in the mylar, have been played. I still have the hype sticker. This was originally a Record Store Day Black Friday 2024 album, and at the time I couldn't get one, and then I got one later.
I have the exact same pressing.
You have the exact same cherry red.
Yep.
Fire engine red. Fire engine hat. Fireman. Fire Marshal Bill. Fire Marshal Bill.
Wow. Okay.
So, love these two things, two pinnacle records of the 1990s. And that's my vinyl check. I'm pretty stoked. I did recently finally get Ghost Skeleton. I was confused if I ordered it or not. I did not, but now I have it. I have the version I wanted. So that'll probably be in the next check or two.
Very cool. My news check of the week is there. I'm going to ask a question to both of you gentlemen and just give me a yay or nay what you think. Is Ticketmaster seeing a downturn in bodies and tickets sold?
I don't think so because they're making money hand over fist. Do you care that if they have less people show up and they're still making a ton of money because they can finance billions of dollars of loans?
I want them to go under, but that's besides.
I agree.
Do
you think there's less people going to shows? I think their shows are being booked smarter now.
I think significantly less people are going to shows. I went by the Shed a couple of weeks ago, and it was Simple Minds, Madness, and I want to say Soft Cell. That package normally I would think would bring in 12 to 14,000. Maybe I'm overinflating, but they pulled in maybe 4. And when we drove past it, there was no one on the hill.
Well, these are all one-hit wonders from the 80s.
Yeah, but it's 3 of them.
What is the audience for these people on a weeknight in St. Louis?
It's 3 of them, and St. Louis is very nostalgic. Also pointing out, Ticketmaster is doing another concert week of All In with no fees. They have never done, I can't hear you, Don. They have never done 2.
Was that the $30 deal that's going around?
The $30 deal.
Okay,
they've been doing it every year since the pandemic.
Not twice. Yeah. Not twice.
They've done it twice this year so far, right?
Right. They've done it twice this year. It's always been once. They call it concert week. It's like May. It's like the 3rd week of May.
I'm going to say last year it was 2 separate campaigns on top of other things they've been doing. So I'm going to disagree and say they have been doing it.
So
I don't know.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, bounce back to Nick's question, is that like I've been to shows that are like back and forth. I feel like they're not booking shows properly. I feel like a lot of bands who probably in hindsight should be playing arenas and amphitheaters should actually be playing theaters and smaller places. I mean, we just saw what the Black Keys had to cancel a bunch of shows or downgrade, but at the same time, Dead and Company is doing 3 shows out at Golden Gate Park. That's like 60,000 people over 3 days, and the show sold out in 2 hours. So I feel like that Ticketmaster, right? But see, that's what I'm saying.
They were here a year and a half ago, but they haven't actually toured the Bay Area much.
Yeah, so I feel like that Ticketmaster more than likely is probably banking on the artists like that who are bringing in a shit ton of money. And then they're like, okay, we can eat our shirts with Soft Cell and bands like that. But it makes the bands look horrible because Soft Cell and all that, they're getting paid the same amount, whether it's sold out or whether there's 2,000 people there.
They have a guarantee. Also pointing out, not that it's necessarily Ticketmaster, but I'm sure some of the venues are. MC Chris is having really horrible attendance on his first tour in a few years. Mm-hmm. He's been like basically begging for people to buy tickets, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, but he like listed. I mean, the most tickets sold he had for any one show was 100.
Wow.
And we're not talking about Styx that comes every year. I mean, granted, MC Chris is far more of a niche item, but I'm also getting pounded by Ticketmaster with way more emails than I ever have. I'm getting probably 10 emails a day from Ticketmaster right now.
So with MC Chris, like what is the deal with him? I mean, because I can't assume there's any places much smaller I mean, because he's playing small places.
Well, I'll
right?
tell you, the club he's playing in St. Louis this time is the wrong club. He's playing Pops, which Pops is where King Diamond, the Black Dahlia Murder, the Cavalera Brothers have played in the past. Ace Frehley is where last time I saw Ace Frehley was there.
Big place.
Yeah, it holds 3.
That seems like a lot for MC Chris.
It's way too much for MC Chris. He should be playing a 500 capacity max
at most. Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to say, mentioning Cavalera, the Cavalera Brothers are going on tour with special attention being paid to the greatest Sepultura record of all time, Chaos AG. So I've been told I'm going to be covering it. So look for my review on Ghost Cult. What you got, Don?
So my news that I got this week. So I saw a news clip that said REO Speedwagon singer injured in car crash after falling asleep behind the wheel. But then I picked up the news story and it says former frontman Terry Luttrell of the band REO Speedwagon. I have no idea who the fuck that guy even is.
They were talking about that on the radio today.
I mean, like, my first thought was like, oh my God, Kevin Cronin is in a bad place.
He's not even in the band right now.
Yeah, I know. He's like the Kevin Cronin.
He's touring with Styx.
Officially, There is no REO Speedwagon anymore. It's Kevin Cronin plays REO Speedwagon. Who wants this? Nobody.
Kevin Cronin's
wants
REO Speedwagon.
Who's the original singer of this band?
Of REO Speedwagon? His name is Terry Luttrell.
Was he on the first record?
I have no idea. I mean, I was trying to read this, but it looks like I'm trying to see if they even went into it. But known for his time with REO Speedwagon, he joined the Can't Fight This Feeling band in 1968, replacing vocalist Mike Blair. He was only in the band from 68 to 72.
Okay, he was on the first record.
He was on their self-titled album and was replaced by Kevin Cronin.
Oh, okay. So Kevin Cronin is the classic singer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that makes sense. So yes, wait. So
he's like the longtime new guy,
right?
Basically.
Well, he joined in 71. I mean, that's like calling Bruce Dickinson the new guy.
Anyway, yeah. Well,
moving on.
All right. So Blind Melon announced 2025 tour dates, which is their first extensive tour since like 2009, which is going to be really cool to see. The lead singer, Travis Warren, does a great job. I heard the new soft songs they put out. Don't like them. But I feel like aside from Alice in Chains, I've never heard a revamped group put out music that I thought was actually quite good. So that's the news. And then I do have Foreigner news. I'm interviewing Jeff Pilson, a Foreigner, tomorrow. So
who is Jeff Pilson?
The bass player from Dokken, who's been in Foreigner for years. But I'm actually trying to figure out if maybe RTB and Nick Guitar Jones should make an appearance.
You know what? That would be the greatest thing ever. Also, please ask him what brand of water bottle he prefers to get for the band.
What? How does Kelly Hansen take his coffee?
Sure, in Death Clock. Oh, you're the bass player. Shouldn't you be getting bottled water for the rest of the guys about now?
It's amazing. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's exciting. So I'm super excited about it. And I even inquired. I was like, I said I'm obviously asking a bunch of Foreigner questions. I was like, but can I ask some Dokken questions or some lineage questions of himself? And the PR person was like, absolutely, just go for it. Said he's a really cool interview. So
I bet he would like to be thought of as more than just, some random dude that joined Foreigner 18 months ago.
I mean, he's probably gonna be psyched that he's been in the band a long time though. He's been in Foreigner for I
thought he was the guy that just became I'm thinking of the guy that just became the singer.
Oh yeah. But
I thought that was the bass player. Never mind, moving on.
Anyway, and then my last piece of news was that where was it? I just had it bookmarked. Oh yeah, that Ozzy is releasing some sort of drink where now you can have his DNA inside of you.
In 1990 something, they released Ozzy's Holy Water,
I
at
remember that.
Ozfest that every bottle was personally blessed by Ozzy. Now, I don't know if we had an I Love Lucy situation where he was trying to bless each one as it went by, or if he just blessed the vat. But we always envisioned it as, ooh,
Pallet can.
ooh, blessed. This was blessed. Oh, fuck, I missed one. Stop. That's how I always envisioned it. Anyway. And then him
so
falling
real quick,
over.
here's the description. It says the drink is called Infinite Ozzy from Liquid Death. Ultra limited.
Natural. Okay, why doesn't Liquid Death sponsor us at this point?
Right. Okay. Now
We
this is.
we literally carry their water every week.
I know. If anything, give Keith a spokesman. You know, like he could be like
Send him
the
a fucking case of it. The most free stuff he ever got from Liquid Death was the 2 that he picked up at the Metallica shows, or the 2 I gave him because I didn't want to drink the shit.
Look, dude. You know, I mean, he could be like the Joey Suzu of Liquid Death. You know?
He could be Keefy Liquid Death.
He could be Keefy Lick Death, or something like. Anyway, anyway, and it says that this is a great.
Licky boom boom down.
Ultra limited empty cans of Liquid Death iced tea that were actually drank by Ozzy Osbourne himself and now contain his DNA. They are being sold for $450 a can.
I'm just going to point out that that's improper grammar.
Yeah.
The past participle of drink is drunk, aka
thank you.
I'm gonna get drunk on all these beers I have. Also, this is Goose. By
Goose. But yeah, so anyway, so if all you kids out there would like to check out, you know, own a piece of Ozzy for $450, maybe you can clone him Jurassic Park style. I don't know.
So basically, it's become Sheldon, where he was given the gift of Leonard Nimoy's DNA, and he was going to clone his own Leonard Nimoy.
It's that mouthwater from the Austrian Alps. Two flavors: mountain spring water and sparkling water. Aluminum cans.
All right, so everybody who is watching this right now, go to the Liquid Death website and click on like message us
Keefy,
or whatever.
Demand Keefy.
And demand
Keefy gets free water.
We are actually going to.
I'm going to do it. I'm doing it right now. I'm just clicking.
Actually, they don't do partnerships anymore. They do affiliate partnerships, and even our affiliate partner. So actually, to be honest, they sent us a gang of shit. My Liquid Death hat that's here somewhere. Shirts that I still wear to this day. They're very comfortable in my size. They sent cases and cases of the water to me. This is before they had the flavors. So this is very early days during the pandemic. Omar cut this and I made that commercial when we were living together.
Where is that handsome man? Why isn't he here?
He should be here.
Are we ever going to have him on?
I think he went to he liked Beasties. He went to Tibetan Freedom concert and stuff like shit like that. So, no, we did that commercial, and that was to promote our affiliate partnership. And for a while, we made money and got free product. So I have no complaints about Liquid Death. I do continue. My homies are texting me like, what? I continue to shill for them. I do like the product. They're not making these anymore with the agave. The stevia ones, as you saw me drink one live on the show, horrible. So once these are gone, I will only be drinking the white can or the black can. Which is this? The black is this plain sparkling.
Wow, only white or black. Okay.
Wow,
only white or black. Wow. Shades of gray, son, just like Biohazard. Are you done, Don?
One last piece of news. Don't forget to check out my Mother Truckin' new live album, Bring 'Em Back Alive, now on vinyl for the first time.
Friend of the show, Sebastian Bach is here.
When is he not? Sebastian Bach, the omnipresent friend of the show.
Yes, friend of the show, Sebastian Bach. Yes, absolutely.
Noted cocaine hater, Sebastian Bach.
I'm gonna start my segment.
Keep him away from me.
Like every time Nick says, "Who is blank?" after like a person he absolutely should know who that is, a little part of me dies. So like, really, man, I don't even have words anymore.
Like an example.
Do you have a buzzer? I mean, you could just do a buzzer.
Who is Jeff Pilson? If you don't know who that is, you maybe shouldn't be doing this show anymore.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful.
It is hurtful. It hurts me. It hurts me. when
I
you,
can't
I don't know if you're
kill
being funny or not.
everyone. I don't like Dokken.
Yeah, but this
Who
is also
does?
the guy that asked me if Beast from the East Live had George Lynch or Reb Beach, dude.
Who's
George
Nancy-
Lynch
who's
forever,
Nancy Wilson
man.
again?
That was a joke.
Who's
That was a
Nancy
joke.
Wilson? Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Who? Sorry, that was a Heat reference. I saw that.
I'm ready to take away your news check, sir.
You could take away the news check. Biohazard, speaking of Brooklyn, New York, Biohazard, I heard Dune. Biohazard has a new song out, Forsaken. They have a new record deal with a offshoot of the Frontiers SRL label from Italy.
Great label.
And I'm extremely pumped. Well, I mean, they're a great label, but they're kind of a very independent DIY label also. They don't do a lot of tour support. Like, I think Biohazard could have signed with it. They were free agents. They could have signed with anyone, any of the majors in terms of metal, and they chose to go with this label. I think they're very strong in Europe. They're not as strong here in the States. Perhaps they will eventually become bigger in the States. And it's like the Black to Black is the name of the label. For whatever reason, that has to do with anything. And it's rock and metal, more modern bands, and not these progressive and art rock bands that Frontiers usually has. And power metal, a lot of power metal Italians over there. But anywho, I'm very excited about this. Metallica is coming to the San Francisco Bay Area this weekend. I am not going officially, but maybe I will see them next year when they come back. If not, I never see them again. I had a great run. And I have been reading the Gary Holt book, and I have a big stack of books behind me that I have to get through reviews for. But the Gary Holt book is really amazing, and it's mostly co-written in his voice with Adam Tippelman, who I think is Tippelman, who's a writer for Decibel. And the forward is by Kirk Hammett, Kirky Wawa. And we've done, I'm a big Exodus fan, and it's shed a lot of light on things about just all the machinations and the Zetro out and Rob Duke's in of all of it. And this book is only out a couple of months ago, so I think the writing was on the wall, like based on the thing. It's like, yeah, we love Zet. We get along, and we, this, that, and the other thing. But, he's always been his own guy.
And get the fuck out.
Marches to a beat of his own drum.
We get along great with him when he's not here.
Now he just marches out of the rehearsal room and Dukes marches in.
I mean, I would have to imagine at this point they're both on retainer.
Yeah, let me do a little due diligence here for a second. If anybody's on YouTube or Facebook, drop a comment. But we got a whole bunch of people here on the Instagram. Have passed by Slayer's Wine, friend of mine, everydayer. Dillinger Compound, Ghost Cult fan, everydayer. Bands who charge $50 USD packages are doing well up here in Canada. And that's Canadian dollars, not USD, Dillinger Compound. So
are they charging 50 USD? Because I would love to see that poster. That'd be like, walking by the arena or the club, and it says Sepultura coming, 48 euros.
Jeff Pilson also played with the Dio, so be extra ashamed, Nick. Extra ashamed.
I cannot remember every dude that played with Dio. It's like 78 people.
I mean, Mick has been showing up here in their concept cafes. Recent Ghost Call Interview Me. Jim never liked Bio. Oh, I know. Oh, that's funny. The REO Speedwagon story is clickbait. No shit. Anywho, yeah. So
every REO Speedwagon story is clickbait.
News check. I don't think was there anything else major. We still don't know who the band is that's been kicked off the Ozzy
Speaking
thing.
of clickbait, thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, we talked about it last week. All of the articles like major band kicked off the show. Link in comments, and you go to the link, and it's
There's a lot of bad metal news out there.
It's terrible. You get like this terrible, horrible tabloid journalism. Sharon is angry.
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but trust me. And I have made mistakes. Listen, during the pandemic, the worst of it, when Till Lindemann of Rammstein had pneumonia, the New York Times of Berlin basically reported that he was dead or about to die of COVID. He actually did not have COVID. He did have pneumonia. He did go to the hospital. He did get released, just treated and released. But they had to print a retraction. I will print a retraction when something is wrong. But
there was that time that I talked about Oh, the lead singer for The Obsessed. I thought he had died of COVID, and he's fine. He's fine.
What was the
He
big
might die of
clickbait? What was the
cocaine or
big
sex.
clickbait article about the Sabbath thing? Oh, band gets kicked off of
Right, and nobody knows who it is. Just
and they
somebody was
still
kicked off.
haven't announced it.
And that
They
was a
still haven't
week.
said anything.
That was a week ago.
Which means they rushed to announce it probably mistakenly, just to put.
So probably no one is kicked off. I'm going with nobody's been kicked off. All righty. Do we want to set up 1986?
Absolutely.
1986 is an interesting year. We are about to have Poison. The Sunset Strip scene has basically changed. It is gone. We now are getting bands like Guns N' Roses. We are now getting bands like Extreme. Skid Row is about to drop. Bon Jovi's about to explode. But then there's this other thing that's been bubbling from the 70s. It's called hip hop. Back in the day, we called it rap because we did not realize all the business. And we were very, very white. So in 1985, we briefly touched on this last week, the Beastie Boys, without an album, I was wrong. Keefe was right on this one. The Beastie Boys, without their first album drop, open for Madonna. And there are all these wild photos of them from that era that I saw earlier today.
Can you just say I was right once again and you were wrong? Can you just do that for me?
Meatball sandwich in my mouth. That's what I ask the scammers to say to me, so that way I know they're not AI.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Oh, so no meatball sandwiches?
Open up this pit, Denny's.
Circle pit by the fryer. So anywho, yes, Keefe was correct. I was incorrect. So they played 5 songs on there. So here's the 5 songs. Does anybody want to guess one song off the set list? A small hint. There's nothing.
She's on it.
There's nothing from Pollywog Stew.
She's on it.
That is correct. Don, give me one song you think's on the set list.
Is it going to be, let's see, Time to Get Ill?
No.
Okay.
It's Yours, which I don't even know what that is.
I have no idea.
She's on it. Drum Machine, which isn't even a Beastie Boys song. It's an MCA solo tune that he did around the same time as all this stuff. Beastie Groove, and they closed the set with Rock Hard.
Isn't Beastie Groove the Bad Brains like reggae thing they did?
No, that's Beastie Revolution.
That's right. Sorry.
There's Beastie Boys, Beastie Revolution, and Beastie Groove. Oh, also Beastie Groove instrumental. So you need to make sure you know all 3 of these songs backwards and forwards, or you will hurt me by not knowing.
Well, now you know how I feel not knowing who Jeff Pilson was, Nick. Boom,
Jeff
boom,
Pilson
Cameron.
He can eat his own butt. So in 86, bands like Run DMC and LL Cool J existed. I can remember being at summer camp, and I went to an inner city school at this time where it was at least half black. And it was Scruggs Elementary, 4th and 5th grade. And I remember seeing my classmates wearing, hats with LL Cool J lyrics on them or Beastie Boys lyrics on them. I heard Paul Revere by one of my cabin mates rapping it in 1986 before I ever heard it. And I knew all the words before I ever heard the song. But we also have, does anybody remember Aerosmith's big comeback in 1986? It was Walk This Way.
Featuring Run DMC.
Actually, it was Run DMC featuring Joe and Steven.
They were the only 2 involved.
They were the only 2 involved. That is correct.
And the only 2 in the video.
And the only 2 in the video. Which, I mean, it's kind of mean. Those other 3 dudes and the bass player are worthwhile. Not so much the bass player. I'm sorry. I'm quit picking on bass players. But 1986 is a transitive year. The top 40 at this time, this might be the end of the era where the top 40 isn't just pop songs as we know them now. This is when the top 40 is a literal snapshot at the entire world. So we have all different genres of music. Van Halen's 5150 comes out this year. The greatest Van Halen record they've ever released since 1984. What was between between 1984 and 5150, Keefy, what was better?
Well, OU812 was.
I would take David Lee Roth's EP "Crazy from the Heat" over anything with Hagar.
God,
Fuck
that's
that
a good EP. I got
Van
that.
Halen with Van Hagar. Fuck off.
Look, dude, seriously, Eat 'Em and Smile came out at the same time as 5150. Skyscraper came out at the same time
Even
as OU812.
Skyscraper.
Crushed
Even
it.
fucking
There's
Skyscraper.
nothing wrong with Skyscraper. Skyscraper's a good
I'm
record.
saying it's better than anything.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's got Steve Vai.
And like
It's
not even
fair.
trying.
No,
to be
he did
better.
not try on that record.
Actually, he was very experimental on that record. Actually, that might be a good future cast. We can talk about that though. That might be interesting.
Anyway,
But
moving back to, so this is a year where music is going in all kinds of ways, and a really cool thing. This is also when around the era when my mother told me, I liked that rap thing when it started, but now I'm just sick of it. Okay, Mom, hasn't really been around that long, but
that's
I
fair.
appreciate, the African American community appreciates the support you had for them 2 weeks ago.
Nick's mom was a real OG.
My mom was. I don't think my mom was a music person, apart from Neil Diamond and the Eagles.
Yeah, but you know what? It ain't St. Louis without Nick's mom.
So my friend texted me on Saturday saying, "Hey, do you want to go see this band Hudson and the Hoodoo Cats?" And I text her back. I'm like, "Did I ever tell you about the time that I woke up and the bass player was in my living room after having spent the night with my mom?"
What? What am I supposed to do?
True story.
I feel
What are
like
we supposed to do with that
whole rest-
information?
We need the whole rest of this story now. Go, you stepped in it. Go ahead, buddy.
That's the whole
Hear about
story,
your mom
basically.
hooking up with some D-list.
No, come on, dude.
But she
There's a
hooked up
story.
with a bass player.
You do realize you're talking to two bass players here, right?
I'm
know,
right
and
here,
that-
bro.
And that's why I just step in the dog dookie and put my shoe in front of you. Bass players.
I used to love you, Nick.
You'll love me again, bitch.
I used to love you.
Keefy, can we
We
get
used to love Nick, but we had to kill him.
Used to love Nick. Oh yeah, but we had to kill him.
that is not nice. That is mean, that is violent, that is terroristic. You might as well
We
scratch
used to
it.
love him, but we had to kill him. Anyway,
Well, you know what? Before you kill me, I'm gonna
what?
I don't know what's happening.
shit, I hit mute.
Thank
What
you.
I
I'm glad
said
you understood my
was-
sign language.
I'm gonna tell you this one thing before you kill me. You can't put your arms around a memory.
Oh Lord, we are so
That's-
Amtrak.
That's
Keefy,
Yeah,
can we get
anything
the
else to
records?
say?
No, can we get the records
Yeah.
from the year?
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is we've done 86 a few times over past series. So I'm going to do the top rap albums of 86, a handful of the top metal albums of 86, and because I feel like it's relative, the top punk albums of 1986. Hello, Joe. Joe is here. Quite a few people watching on YouTube now.
hey,
Hi, everybody.
Joe.
Subscribe to the
Hey
Glacially
Joe, where you going with that YouTube in your hand?
Is here. All right,
Whoa,
let
where are you
me-
going with that tube steak in your sock?
Oh my!
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that's mother's milk.
7-Eleven. That's where I'm going.
So silence. Some top hip hop and rap albums of 1986. Just a few you might have heard of.
Just yay or nay.
Besides
Dave.
Life in
Just
Hell,
yay or nay.
Raising Hell, Run DMC.
Yes.
Yes.
Hot, Cool, and Vicious, the debut from Salt and Pepper.
No.
No.
On Fire by Stetsasonic.
No.
No.
Okay. Dougie Fresh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can't believe you don't know these.
No.
I
But
love
my
that
wife
his name
had,
is Doug E. Period Fresh.
my wife had that
Doug
album
E.
and loved
period.
it. I think.
Not surprised. She can
Most
stay.
of my hip hop stuff's from the 90s.
Back in Black by Houdini.
I have Back in Black by Cypress Hill.
All bangers. That is just not true.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Has Black Sunday, not Back in Black.
No, they have
Kumo
Back in
Beat
Black as
subtitle
well.
debut.
I'm
May I
sorry. Which
continue?
one was that?
Yes.
Are you guys just talking to yourselves and I should just go fuck myself or what?
We would like to fuck you. Please continue.
All right, then. Self-titled album by Kumo D. Kumo D.
I said no.
No.
Two Live Crew is What We Are by Two Live Crew, their debut album. Can't
I've
remember
never even
what they
heard
called
of that one.
Yeah.
it.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Schoolie D, Saturday Night, the album.
Oh my God, Schoolie D. He's make the homies say ho, make the girls want to scream. Don't have it.
I did not have that one, but I knew that song.
The Source, Grandmaster Flash.
Oh,
Had it.
No.
Curtis Blow, Kingdom Blow. Don't know. Men, that was
Is that a Roy Thomas Baker joke?
perhaps and should not have been.
Did somebody say blow?
MC Hammer's debut album, Feel My Power.
Wait, he had a debut album?
He's had many albums.
I assumed that his first album was Hammer Don't Hurt Him.
He sold 60,000 copies.
Somebody's earplugs are not
In the
in
back of his car in Oakland.
Wow.
This is a band you should know, but probably don't. Skeezer Pleaser by UTFO. I don't think that's their debut, but it might be.
Mm-mm.
I think Skeezer Pleaser might just have become my new online handle.
Continuing, Big and Beautiful by the Fat Boys.
I had that one too.
Is their third album.
I had Fat Boys Are Back.
Oh, and just a heads up, I had all of these on cassette because this
Yeah,
is
of
when I
course.
used to carry around a boombox to
Lazy
go.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
whose headphones are not in properly?
yeah, I'm hearing
Yours.
an echo.
Yours.
No, I hear mine.
I think it's you. Anyway, continuing. Too Short, third album, Raw Cut and X-Rated.
No.
House Rocker by Lovebug Starsky.
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Make the music with your mouthpiece. Biz Marquee. Motherfucker, say his name.
Biz Marquee is what goes back that far. I had no idea.
Yes. Other than that,
Yeah, I didn't have that one.
I think it's his EP that followed his debut. Eric B is President by Eric B and Rakim. I think that's an EP also.
Did not have that one.
Play This Only at Night, a second release by Dougie Fresh following the Paradise Lost model of albums.
Did Dougie Fresh release like 17 albums in the 80s?
I think in the 80s, yeah.
Just in
Beat
86.
Beat Biter by MC Sean, the rival of the Bronx rappers.
No.
So Queen's the best. Automatically.
God,
Queen's
I
the
know.
best.
Oh, he was
Like
name
four
checked
guys.
he was name checked by Snow.
Yeah, of course. Well, that was his homie.
It was Snow.
And
Was
then, yeah, they were friends. And then the Def Fresh Crew by Roxanne Shante. What in the fuck? Tiny Penis Motorcycle Club.
I'm sorry. Was that a werewolf?
Do you
Are
need
we
some
in
gas
London?
X? Do you need some gas X, Keithy?
So really quick, a handful of metal albums, maybe the best year in metal in the 80s. You can argue this. This will be a future podcast series. Master of Puppets, Rain in Blood, Somewhere in Time, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus by Candlemass, Peace Sells Blues Buy-In, Pleasure to Kill, Doomsday for the Deceiver, The Final Fucking Countdown, Darkness Descends by Dark Angel, Fatal Portrait by King Diamond, Born Too Late by Saint Vitus, Rage for Order by Queensryche, and so many more. Maybe the best year ever in metal. I don't know.
That's
And
pretty
then
up
let's
there
talk-
with the 88, Keithy, when we were talking
And
about the Robert Plant.
Here's the third on the Venn diagram. Here are some very important punk albums. Not all of them, but important punk albums of '86. Because I think Beastie Boys live in the middle between this. Mr. Fire is here. It says that Joe rules. Joe does rule.
It's hard
Enjoy
to say what
that.
the Beastie Boys are.
Enjoy by the Descendants. A Date with Elvis by the Cramps. I saw the Cramps in 1988. I was still in high school. This is The Voice by Ancient Orange. That's where that riff gets stolen. Animal Boy by Ramones. Probably the last really great Ramones album. They had a few other good ones.
The title
Bedtime.
track of that album is fucking amazing.
Dee wrote most of that record. When
that is one of the most aggressive studio Ramon songs.
Yep. In general, that whole album's fierce. Bedtime for Democracy, Dead Kennedys. The Age of Quarrel, the classic by the Cro-Mags. If you said that was the best New York hardcore record, I wouldn't fight with you. Can I Say by Dag Nasty. Atomizer by Big Black. Land of the Lost by the Wipers, hugely inspirational to Melvins and Nirvana. Horror Stories by the Dwarves. Self-titled Misfits record. Misfits are already broken up, and Sawain is out at this point, but that record became pretty big everywhere. Pictures of Starving Children by Chumbawamba before they got knocked down and get up again.
So this is
Sex
when they
Man.
got knocked down.
This is when they got knocked down before they got back up again. Sex Mad by No Means No. Sawain 3, November Coming Fire. Rembrandt Pussy Horse by the Butthole Surfers. I think that's their debut. Second album. Candy Apple Gray by Husker Du. The Horse Bites Dog Cries by D.I. Subhumans Split. Eye Against Eye, Bad Brains. Cause for Alarm, Agnostic Front. These are all unbelievable. Raging, Full On, Fire Hose. Susie and the Banshees, Tinderbox. It was kind of their
Fire Hose is a band that we have not mentioned nearly enough.
Never, actually, and we probably should. I don't think we've ever mentioned it. Your Funeral, My Trial by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. He already had 4 albums out by 86.
That's a
Eat
really
Your
good
Paisley. Eat Your Paisley by the Dead Milkmen. Bend Sinister by The Fall. Standing on a Beach by The Cure. Some of these are post-punk and new wave. Atrocities by Christian Death. Break Down the Walls by Youth of Today. Another one, Kicking Against the Pricks, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. This is the Paradise Lost thing again. Evolve by Sonic Youth. I think this is their 3rd album. Throwing Muses, self-titled. Jane County's Private Oyster. Here It Is by the Flaming Lips. Could be their debut studio album. Shonen Knife's debut, Pretty Little Baka Guy. And Holy Money by Swans, a band I really used to love. Neither punk, certainly not rap and not metal, but kind of all these things at the same time. That is a lot of groundbreaking music to come out at the same time as one of the best-selling debut albums of all time, Licensed to Ill.
That's what I'm saying, that 1986 was this wonderful mishmash of music. It's all over the place. It's every genre, every just a great year for music. Just, I mean, absolutely wonderful. I can remember walking home from school singing Aerosmith, Paul Revere, because I didn't have nobody would buy me a Walkman in 86. Nobody had a Walkman.
Well, if I would have known you, I would have let you borrow mine.
That's not buying me one now, is it?
Well, we could have each had like a side, and like listen to like that on the bus.
Don and Nick sharing a Y connector headphone jack.
They didn't have Y connector headphone
Probably
jack in
thinking
1986.
I think they did, Bell. Look up your radio.
Do you guys remember though the Walkman headphones? You could actually pop the ear parts off.
Yeah, why?
Thing, and you could give the other one to another person. You could actually like listen.
Or you could just kiss.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but I don't know. Most of the people I went to school with didn't have teeth, so that wasn't really an option. So
it's not my fault you went to school in the South.
I know it's not, but I have PTSD from it.
It's all right.
Shall we get to the record?
You were in the Sata, and now you still are.
We're almost at the 1 hour mark. Should we get to the record?
Yeah, get to the record. So, who produced it? Rick Rubin. Who managed it? Russell Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be shown the door in about 6 months? Those two dudes.
Those two guys.
Who? Does anybody?
I think it's more like a couple years later, but you're not wrong.
I was being a little hyperbolic. You don't have to come at me all the time.
Not you, really?
I thought it was hyperbolic. Is that not how you say it?
Oh, I think it's hyperbole salt lick.
I love it when you talk dirty to me, Nick.
May I continue uninterrupted?
Go.
Does anybody know what Slayer guitar player is on this record?
Kerry King.
Does anybody know why he wasn't on Paul Revere?
Because there's no guitar in Paul Revere.
That's probably the best reason. So, Here we have.
Paul Revere is a perfect rap song and doesn't need Kerry King fucking it up.
I was messing with you guys, and you both get
I hate
so
guessing games.
It's not a guessing game.
It's like, we need Kerry King to do a solo. Here, Kerry, put this guitar on, plug it in, and we'll push you down the stairs.
And then stomp on your junk when you're down there.
Kerry King's a fucking poser, and here's why. Okay, like
He's
I
fucking
love
terrible.
Flair more than most people, but here's why he's a fucking poser. Because for years he derided rap music. He's on one of the most iconic rap albums of all time.
Iconic rap
yeah.
songs of all time.
I mean, he's that whole album.
I mean, he's
Not
on the album.
whole album, but he's on 2 songs on the album and in a music video.
He's only in
It's
one.
fucking more.
No, he's not. He's on
Not-
2. He's on No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and then he's on.
And literally, you can't tell that it's his solo and No Sleep Till Brooklyn. It's him.
No, I know he's in. That's the only one he's on.
No, he's on Fight for Your Right to Party,
Doing what?
playing
Solo.
the guitar solo.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a big poser. And then he selectively years later was like, I don't like this new metal. And then they made a new metal record. Kerry, shut the fuck up. I want to interview him, but also like, dude.
Still my favorite Slayer record.
Shall we do the track by track? Or else we're gonna be here for a year.
Yes, who's leading it?
You. It's your series. You lead every one. It's your job. I did my job.
Okay, Bill Moakley. Track 1, Ryman and Steve. Does anybody know who Bill Moakley even is? I mean, Don, you should. You're from the Sata.
I'm from the Sata.
We didn't shirt check. MC Chris.
Oh, Styx from the Mission Tour.
What an episode this is turning out to be. Let's not do this again where we go live. What a fucking mistake.
Way more fun.
You think?
I do. So I had this album on cassette back in the day. My cousin Alex gave it to me. He was kind enough to give it to me because he hated it. Don't even know how he acquired it. So track 1, Ryman and Stealin'. This is a very literary track. It references Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, which, as we all know, the Beastie Boys had probably not read. But it's important to point out that when I first listened to this record, I actually thought that they were telling true stories. And then I thought they really were terrible thieves and gang members and murderers. I didn't realize that you could put on airs when I was 10.
I was going to ask you how old you were. Okay.
I was 10.
Yeah. All right. I'll let
I was
that
like,
slide.
I shouldn't like this because they're so mean. Anyway, Ryman and Stealin', great song. And this is where we learned that the Beastie Boys know a New York slang that to this day I am still trying to decipher all of. A lot like Monty Python slang. So, Don?
Ryman and Stealin', as actually, I remember, I think it was, I forgot what it was. It was a, like a black music magazine that actually said that Ryman and Stealin' was one of the greatest rap songs of all time.
I saw
And I agree.
I saw a YouTube video about who was the best hip hop band of all time. And the announcer, who was African American, said it was the Beastie Boys. However, you have to also understand that they do have privilege, so it put them a little farther ahead at the beginning. Couldn't disagree.
But yeah, great song. I think it's probably one of the strongest album openers. I think it's such an incredible opener.
Evie.
You're on mute, Keith.
I don't think the Beastie Boys are the greatest rap group of all time by any measure. Actually, not even remotely close, but whatever.
Nobody's verifying the veracity of said statement.
So well, I think for something, like I'm just saying, I know it's been said, just like people think Eminem is the greatest rapper ever. He's not. He's impressive. He's got some huge hits. He's a cultural, force, but like, is he the greatest? No. So, and there's probably a lot of people out there we never hear about. Radio doesn't play. Record labels don't put out real, actual maestros of this genre. Beastie Boys were a novelty band. Okay, they were a novelty because they were white. There were other white rappers at this time, but like they had the dream team of Rick and Russell. They had what amounted to major label distribution, Def Jam through Columbia, and it just all hit at once. And that's why this thing is a monster. And Rhymin' and Stealin's like, you can't discuss this record without talking about Sweet Leaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the drum from When the Levee Breaks and the riff from Sweet Leaf.
Sweet Leaf.
You have to talk about samples, and like they changed the game with this, but they also went too far, and they almost didn't. Like they got the record cleared, but like it was
This one with Levy.
Well, every song. I'm talking about their samples
okay.
on every song that they just took liberties with, and they. Like, I think it was the very primitive years of sampling, and they paid very little comparatively. You could not make this record today.
No, you cannot.
By the way, just really quick, the singles in order, which did not include Rhyming and Stealing. This is how good this record is. There were 7 singles from this record. And this record went platinum.
Out of how many songs?
Was it
13.
Was it 12? 13.
7 out of 13. And it was platinum in 4 months. Came out in November. It was platinum by the end of February, which is fucking unbelievable. The singles were Hold It Now, Hit It, Paul Revere, The New Style, Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, the 4th single, Brass Monkey, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and Girls, which is terrible, but we'll talk about it.
I had no clue they had so many singles from this album. Like, I was aware of 3.
Yeah, that's why it sold like 10 million. That's why.
Jesus. All right.
Already, we're ready to move on to 4, 3, and 2, and 1.
What up?
The New Style. And you know what? This is not a new style. They're just copying what everybody else is doing. But they're doing a great work at it. They're also doing it in a very weird way. They created, I think, the white person diagram on how to do hip hop. Instead of copying what everybody did. And granted, we should point out that this is when the Beastie Boys are definitely they're putting on airs. They're putting on an act. But they put on an act where they're being ridiculous and silly, which is perfect. Instead of a Cadillac symbol on a chain, Mike D wears a Volkswagen VW microbus symbol. And Adrock wears, PE t-shirts. And this is how they're cool. And it worked really, really well for them. And I think it showed a respect that we're not trying to steal, we're not trying to colonize. We just love what you do, and we want to do it too. We're your dorky cousin. Nice to meet you. As for the New Style, I mean, what more can be said about this song? It's a great track. Their personas are already full in force, and they just thump it. Don?
I think it's a incredible track. I mean, to me, this is like a 1-2 punch kicking off the album. I do love the fact that, I know we were talking about how it's kind of a comedy thing or whatever, but if you really listen to this album, you can hear that there's a level of respect and seriousness where, like, the lyrics are silly, whatever, but they are staying true to the overall style of rap music at this time, which is what got them so much cred in the community. They didn't come out trying to act like, the gangsters or like we're from, they literally came out like 3 guys who dropped out of college, which is what they were.
They came out as the gangsters, the rough street kids, but in a way that anybody who wasn't 10 like I was could see that was them being silly. And them being silly while making a great rap record is what got them acceptance. Because you're not trying to steal from us, you're trying to honor us, and you're not trying to be like us. I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of thought about it more as like, I didn't think they were street. I thought they came out looking like kids who dropped out of college, but yet still went to classes to like pick up chicks. Like that's kind of what I got out of them.
They came across to me as a guy that went to your locker during classes. They went through your locker and they smashed your glasses.
I feel like that's the guys that they said they did that, but in reality, they went home and they put Dungeons.
I think in reality, they're the guys whose glasses got broken.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing about New Style. That change in the song, how at the end, after the "Let Me Clear My Throat, Let All the Fly Skimmers Feel the Beat," it takes on a whole new life at the end of that song, and I fucking love that. So top notch.
It's like the rap version of the primitive rap version of a hardcore breakdown. Where they
It
come in
is.
and
It totally is.
on the song. So
Can
a couple of things.
someone define fly skimmer for me?
No. If you can't keep up, we're not going to help you. So like a few things you guys said were brilliant. There is a lot of great wordplay here. I think they wanted to be taken seriously as rappers. There is a goofy, extra machismo personality that they were going for that sucks and is actually one of the things I don't like about this record. If you read the amazing Rebel Girl book by Kathleen Hanna last year, like I did, who she is with, she's with Mike D. That's her partner in life. And when she first started to date him in the 90s, all her friends who were like feminist riot girls were like, the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you with that guy? That guy? The guy who did Girls and she's crafty? That's the guy you went with? Hey, ladies and everything. But I think it's more sophisticated. There's like, they wanted to be jokesters. They wanted to be cool with metal and rock kids. They were punks. They had some cultural clout. I think there's great rap and hip hop on here. And this is one of those songs. I think some of the other things don't land. And we'll get there in another second.
I think a lot of these things landed back in the day. They landed in the wrong. They landed in the wrong way. Because we can look back now. What?
Some of that stuff was not even cool back then.
Nah, back then, but that was right, like shock your parents and shit. And of course, they were appealing to young people who had no idea what any of this really truly meant. So if we're walking around at 10 years old going, girls to clean the bathroom, like who thought that was?
Yeah, well, we're not there yet, but like they're also almost 30 here. But nobody realizes they were almost.
Even though they said in interviews they were 24.
Yeah, they were not 24.
No, they were not.
When I take it back to you, Nick, that's the cue for the next song. Go ahead. We should not do these ever again live. Go ahead.
I love it live. I love it loud. Next track, She's Crafty. You want to talk about some great wordplay and just a perfect timing song? Amazing. You want to talk about a little bit of subtle misogyny that's not as bad as Girls? Also this song. So moving on.
Done.
This is one of those songs that, like, now that I've listened to it as a 51-year-old person, when I listen to it, I cringe. I'm just kind of like, you really went there? Like, I mean, it's like one of those things like where you're laughing and you're like, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I am, but good song, but kind of forgettable to me.
Right. Also, pirating my favorite Led Zeppelin song. The Ocean.
Whole lot of love.
Right?
Oh, the ocean.
Just whole lot of love.
Chart did not play last week, by the way.
Who what?
Chart didn't play it. It was in the set list. They didn't play it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I saw Heart last week.
Heart.
Okay. Oh, and it was on the set list, but they didn't play it. Oh, okay.
Correct.
She's Crafty?
The Ocean.
I'm with Don. This song does not hold up. Go ahead, Nick.
Moving on to Posse in Effect. You want to talk about the first real thumpy This Will Never Die song? This is it. This song is perfection. No notes. Don?
I have no notes other than the fact that I felt like that on this album up to this point, this was the closest to like real deal street rap like that you could get on this album. Great song. I like it.
Yeah, it's not a hit, but it's like a good. It's not filler. It's not a hit, but it's a solid song.
It's not a hit, but
it's short. These are all pretty short, except for a couple.
Moving on to Slow Ride. My favorite line from this song is White Castle fries only come in one size. Unfortunately, that is no longer accurate. White Castle fries now come in two sizes, which completely ruins this amazing song for me. Don?
I don't really like this tune. I don't know why. It just I feel like the lowrider thing kind of kills the any kind of vibe that they could be getting. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of not into that one. Although they do use the word jammy in it again, like I feel like they use that.
There are
probably
so
multiple
many
times.
words in this album that I have never heard anywhere else. I got the jammy with the MO inside my. What the fuck is a jammy?
Yeah, so jammy is one of those New York City slang words or rap slang words that could mean anything. Could be a gun, could be your dick, could be anything.
Is it like John?
Pulled out the jammy and killed the Poodanny on the West Coast. So like that's just a few years later, 4 years later, 4 or 5
My
years.
So it's like John.
my jammy ran deep so deep, put her butt to sleep.
Sort of. Anyway,
Rubicon.
Never.
neither of you should ever rap as long as you live. Anyway,
It will
really,
not ever.
this is probably the one song on here I can get rid of. Like it's okay. It's just okay. I don't need this one. Like it's nostalgic. That's why I like it. But like, is this a excellent song at the level of these other songs? It isn't. Just my 2 cents.
I used to have a heart until just now when Keefe grabbed it out of my chest and told me
Anima!
I betrayed Shiva and it burned.
Oh, and by the way, folks,
Dr. Jones.
I according to the rap dictionary, a skimmer is let me see, what is it? It's like it's not a well-defined term. However, there are other related terms in rap music. So never mind. It doesn't give me an example. Oh, it has something to do with switching knobs and faders. So people who do that on a DJ,
That's
they're
the
a skimmer.
slightest sentence you have ever said, Don. That's crazy. Oh my god.
So what's a fly skimmer? Is that like a good
From my
skimmer?
bloodstream into the back of my throat to kill me.
Yeah, like a fly skimmer. Like that's a cool skimmer.
All right,
feels
children.
the beat.
Let's stop avoiding.
Girls.
Let's stop
625.
avoiding. Girls, man, when I was 10, I'm not gonna lie to you, I liked this song and it was funny and I got it. This is when the Beastie Boys leaned way too hard into their frat boy personas and were really fucking convincing. This is some straight up Andrew Tate level shit. And I am glad they disavowed it very, very quickly when they realized nobody got that it was a joke. I did not get it was a joke at the time. I know it's a joke now, and I skipped this fucking song even on vinyl because it just didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me now.
Yeah, doesn't do a thing for me. And to be honest, even in the heyday when I was a kid, and I just didn't. I just couldn't get behind it. I thought it just sounded too stupid.
Like Paranoid Black Sabbath. Hey, we need one more song. And this was that song. Unfortunately, Black Sabbath did Paranoid. The Beastie did Girls. I imagine like Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin going bum, 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 bum. That's the best part of this thing.
That is the most unfortunate thing I've ever heard about a song.
I'm hearing a thing where you guys should mute yourselves when you are not speaking because we're getting an echo and it's not for me. So it's probably we're somehow picking each other up. Yeah, Girl Sucks. Back to you, Nick, for the next song.
Let's finish out side one with Fight for Your Right to Party. So many brackets, as Duncan would say. But you want to talk about a fun song that's just ridiculous? And I mean, there's so many things that are quotable here. That hypocrite smokes 2 packs a day. You wake up late for school. You don't want to go. Your mom threw away your best porno mag. Bust it. And you really want to bust it. And remember, when you're feeling tired and beat down, the Beastie Boys fought for your right to party. Do not go to sleep at 9:30 a.m., 9:30 p.m. Done.
It's like the Beastie Boys fought for you in this song, but they didn't want to. You know, like there's actually this kind of weird level of disdain you can hear in their voices on this song for some reason, but it fucking works because it's like it's so snotty it's like they hated this song, right? And then they did it. But like by hating it so much, it actually came out really fucking incredible. So like, I mean, and I can't tell you how many fucking bands have used this as their intro song. Like arena metal bands, hard rock bands have used this song as their intro. It's pretty incredible. Timeless. Love it.
Sorry, I was telling Nick to eat his own butt in the chat. Yeah, man, Fight for Your Right. What can you say about it? It's eternal. It's like they will go down known for this song. They may have made better records, might have made more impactful things, but like this is part of the reason this thing became an international sensation. The video is incredible. The song's great. Is it rap? No. Is it punk rock? Sort of. Is it hard rock? Definitely. Is it a little heavy metal? The guitar solo makes it metal. The video, co-directed by Adam Dubin. Who is Adam Dubin? Nicholas. Nick knows who Adam Dubin is. Adam Dubin is the
yes, I know who that is. I know it's a year and a half live Metallica, motherfuckers.
And also the through the Never Behind the Scenes documentary, and also Murder in the Front Row of the documentary. So I've interviewed Adam.
I have not seen the through the Never Behind the Scenes.
Yeah, and Adam Dubin was Rick Rubin's roommate when they were in NYC together.
Wait a minute. Ruby and Dubin.
Adam was in film school with Spike Lee and that class of people, Ernest Dickerson and that class of people, and then went on to do other stuff. And then obviously Rick and him remained in touch. So yeah, Fight for Your Right to Party is fucking amazing.
A little bit of trivia about the video, though, by the way, is that the video actually features an old school MTV VJ. Do you know who it was? It was Tabitha Soren. In the end of the video, when they're all in this part where all are going party, Tabitha Soren's right in there because she was friends with the guys. A little bit of dork trivia there for you.
Her name should have been Tabitha Soren, according to Beavis and Butthead. Nick, take us back. Flip the record, Nick. Nick is talking and he's not unmuted. Here we go. Go ahead.
Am I muted? Did you unmute me? Has the king released me from my prison? Keefe has not released himself from his own prison, so I don't think I'm out of my prison. Hopefully somebody hears what the fuck is going on out of my face. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, which is one of the greatest songs the world has ever known. This is one of my absolute favorite Beastie Boys videos as well. It is absolutely 100% amazing. It's hysterical. It shows their still not out of the punk rock era. Every one of the Beastie Boys you look at in this video is doing this. They're all doing this. I can't do it very well. I can only do I have to do both sides at one time.
Billy Idol?
No, I was going to call it the Sid Vicious. There we go. I got one up. Well, that's two. They're all doing this thing all the time, which was actually an Elvis, which was repurposed by Sid Vicious. And then it was repurposed by every punk rock dude who wanted to show how original they were by stealing whatever Sid Vicious did. It just showed everybody. Punk rock is how you be yourself. You do it anyway. Great song, great solo, and this actually became my karaoke jam for a number of years. Still amazing. Done.
I kind of put this one up there with Fight for Your Right, to be honest. Like it's a good song. I don't mind it, but definitely not something that I'm super excited about. But I don't know. Like it's one of those things where I don't know, it's like pizza. Even when it's not great, it's still fucking good, you know?
That was the appropriate and perfect answer by Don, by the way. That's the length of answer all these should be. But anyway, I think No Sleep Till Brooklyn is almost better than Fight for Your Right to Party. I think it's an actual better song. How about that? It's just not a bigger hit, but a better song. And I'll leave it right there. And a little Motorhead reference there in case rock and metal fans don't know. And back to you, Nick.
Paul Revere is still my favorite song off this record. It is absolutely my introduction to this album, and it is just perfection, top to bottom. Done. Don.
Yes. I'm unmuted.
Now.
I was. Oh, did someone need to unmute me? Okay, anyway. Best song on the album, I think. It's, or at least my favorite, and I think this is probably one of the best rap songs of the era. They nailed it. And the flow, everything, the lyrics, the bouncing back and forth, loved it.
Nicely done. Yeah, Paul Revere is the best actual rapped song on the record to me. It still holds up. I think there's things that they copied that they did their own way well, and I think they carry this over onto the next record, actually. I think Paul Revere is a little bit of the blueprint for Paul's Boutique, but we'll talk about that next week. Back to Nick.
Hold It Now, Hit It. I mean, it's them in their most amazing drunken persona. They are rapping. There's no rock or punk or metal in this. It's not as good as some of the other songs that would fall into similar categories in this album, but you know what? Worth listening to. Done.
Great song. I kind of put this up there with the with Paul Revere. You know, for some reason, this last part of the album is getting it's kind of back heavy. Like, I feel like most albums can be front heavy. I feel like it's getting back heavy here, like with the really good, the bass, the hip hop, everything. Like, I feel like this is kind of where they're kind of showing their I don't know, their skill of doing it, you know. And they also used a total of 3 different samples on this song as well. They used Bob James, they used Jimmy Castor a bunch, and they used Dougie Fresh.
That is correct. Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew, which was like their biggest hit, by the way. It's kind of interesting to hear them sample like the biggest songs ever of all time and just swing for the fences and actually do it pretty decently. I think also doesn't Hold It Now, Hit It. I think Nick was trying to do the beginning horn sample is from I Dream of Jeannie, which was also sampled later by Will Smith, right? The Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. This is the peak of the album, like in terms of how many songs in a row. Fight for Your Right, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Paul Revere, Hold It Now, Hit It. And the next track is absolutely the best of the best. Nick hates me right now. You're muted, so you don't overtalk on people. When you learn to behave, you'll be treated like a brother. Go ahead.
You just look at what you typed above me saying I hate you, and you'll see why. Anyway, Brass Monkey. This used to be the walk-up song for Ryan Ludwig. My favorite part of a Cardinals game was when Ryan Ludwig would come up to the plate in about the 6th or 7th inning, and then they would call in a relief pitcher. So I'd get this song for like 3 minutes. What else needs to be said? Done.
Another great song. Like, I'm telling you, that's what I was talking about. Whereas, like, I feel like this album is loaded towards the back. And like Brass Monkey is like a song I feel like I shouldn't like, but good God, it's, I mean, you can't help it. It's a great song, fuckers. Yeah. we're behind the scenes. We have like we have a secret chat going on to try to crack each other. So
people. Brass Monkey is awesome. Again, another banger. I think Brass Monkey is actually probably copied from better and more underground rappers, and there's just stuff in it that just kind of hits, but they heard it from somewhere else. There's a lot of this record. Like, they wouldn't even deny it. They were just, inspired by what was happening around them. And, too bad that they didn't sample Foreigner. That's the one flaw here. You should have sampled Foreigner.
I'm sorry. I'm cracking myself up. You want me to be the wrong? I I come clean right now? I made a mistake. Slow and Low is the song that has the White Castle Fries reference to it. It's also better than Slow Ride. I mean, I got confused because they both have slow in the title, but Slow and Low.
It's an easy mistake. It's fine.
Slow and Low, great track, no notes.
Song, and it's actually one of the only, I think maybe 4 songs from this album that they performed live later into their career. And so I feel like that the fact that they would do things like that kind of shows the, not like the importance to them, but the fact that they actually felt like these songs were good enough to stand next to this incredible material they were coming out later. So when I listened to this after hearing what I heard of the Beastie Boys later, I listened to the song. I'm like, yeah, that holds.
They left a lot of these songs in the past. This is not one of them.
No. Great song. Great song.
Yeah, this is historically one of my jams. Interestingly, also, we didn't mention this for Paul Revere, little ghostwriting by Run DMC, by Run and DMC on Paul Revere, as well as Slow and Low. So I don't know how much they wrote. I don't know if they wrote all of it.
Enough to get paid.
Enough to get paid. That is correct.
Let's
technically they don't have they don't have an actual writing credit at all on Slow and Low. It's pretty
well, no, Slow and Low was a cover.
Okay.
I don't know it was a cover of whom, but anywho, let us finish out the record with Time to Get Ill. This is the greatest song of all time. There is no other song that does so much great bass, so much ridiculous wordplay, and samples the greatest horse of all time, Mr. Ed. You name me another song that samples Mr. Ed. And you know what? Maybe it's just because at this time when this comes out, I'm like really waist deep into 50s programs, including Mr. Ed. Nick at Night was a hell of a drug in 1986, bro. Huh?
Yeah. Time to Get Ill. Absolutely fantastic. And if you want to see one of the single greatest moments in television, late night television history, go to YouTube, type in Beastie Boys Joan Rivers show. They did Fight for Your Right to Party, and they did for their last song, this song. And it literally contains some of the greatest white dancing I have ever seen in my life. It's such a great song. Like, this is one of those I wish they would have carried with them into the future, but alas, they didn't. But a great closing track. Makes me actually want more. I like it.
I don't exactly know what white dancing is, Don, where you're from. Jesus. Time to Get Ill is a great album closer. I don't know about the greatest song of all time. That it is not. But yeah, it's a song that ends the album in a very strong fashion. It's a 44-minute and 32-second album, which Nick undoubtedly likes a lot. And, you know, it's understandable why it's huge, why it did so well. They went on to tour the world on the back of this record. But I think, I don't know, you know, I think there was a little bit of it that was the novelty of them. Not that the novelty is that they're white, but the novelty that they had these jokey songs. And maybe they weren't taken seriously as a result as rappers, which you see them in later years drill down on. But that's kind of my final thought on this. Nick, summary and take us home, or summary, Don, final thought, Keith, final thought, whatever you want to do. Nick is talking to himself.
Don, go ahead. You muted me, sir. Don, go ahead and give your final thought, and I'll wrap this bitch up.
All right. Final thought. License to Ill to me is considered, I consider it one of the best debut albums, like up there with great debuts. I think we get a picture image of what the band is about, but we really don't get that picture of where they're going, because after this, it's a big surprise to the system. But to me, it's a great album. It's fun. I think it's Beastie Boys 101. I think everybody should have it.
I don't really have any more to add. I think it's an awesome record. I'm glad we did this series just to be able to do this record. Some of it is very cringy, but overall, musically at least, production, it holds up for the time. We didn't talk at all about the album cover, which even though they didn't do this album cover, Hypnosis included this album cover in their book of greatest album artwork ever. And it wasn't just themselves, it was people they admired, and this was in it. And if you had the vinyl or the CD, the booklet opened up for the whole plane crashing into a mountain that also looked like a joint. So I think that was on purpose.
And also, if you look at the like the plane number under the Def Jam logo on the tail, if you look at it in the mirror, it says "Eat Me."
I believe it also did that on the cassette tape, but don't quote me on that. I had something really prescient to say, but I was forcibly muted earlier, so I don't remember what it was. So you have been robbed of my genius because I don't remember what the fuck I was going to say. Anywho, this is my least favorite Beastie Boys record. Everything past this is better. And considering how much I love this record, that should tell you like what kind of amazing Mr. Toad's wild ride we're about to go on. This album has classic hip hop. It's got classic everything. Love, love, love this record. It does not 100% hold up because there were problems. But you know what? If there's a problem, you'll all solve it. Check out the hook of the DJ Revolves It. Don Keefe, thank you for coming every week. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for dealing with the arrows I shoot through your heart because I don't remember some fucking rando bass player from 1985. But I
Jeff
love
Pilson.
Fuck him. Fuck him and fuck you. I love the listeners and I love everything he's done that I might have heard. If I've heard anything, I don't even know. And I will never know. You will not teach me. It's been the Glacially Musical Podcast. It does not play in Peoria. And the Beastie Boys would burn that shit down with Brass Monkey.
Nice little last minute point there, Bob. So good stuff. Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Dude,
More lives.